Bonjour tout le monde, c'est Loli avec vous. On est sur MAO Live, votre radio parisienne indépendante et gratuite qui vous propose des artistes locaux et internationaux. Aujourd'hui, on est avec Audio Unit. Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. Fantastic.
Nice. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Ashwin. I'm one half of Audio Units. We're a brother duo from India, and we've been making electronic music for probably the last 10 years under this project. I'm really happy to be here in Paris.
Yes, nice. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
So, your brother and you have been working together for a long time. How did this duo start?
Our connection was always computer games. So as kids, we used to play a lot of computer games, and my dad was running a computer training center in the early 90s. So the music from computer games was a fascination to us.
Okay.
And that curiosity eventually led us to explore electronic music. And that's how we started as our first inspiration.
Okay, what type of video games are you played?
So this was like the really old 90s computer games like Dave and Digger. This used to be on those old DOS computers. Yeah.
Okay, so in your bio you talk about how important hardware is in your music. What does this approach bring compared to more classic production methods?
So the thing about using hardware is something that we find very fascinating because of the tactile functionality of being able to touch, being able to sort of, do things that are not clinical and very precise on software. Then there's also another part of a learning curve. When you're using hardware, you really have to understand the machine. And I think that teaches you a lot. So initially, when we started making music, we started with an Axis Virus TI2 synthesizer. So it really helped us understand some of the fundamentals of sound, fundamentals of synthesis. So that is one of the things that we find really interesting about using hardware.
Okay, so your techno is very cerebral. How do you produce your tracks and where do your inspiration come from?
So inspirations come from a lot of things. It could come from traveling, it could come from other forms of art. Sometimes you could not even be inspired. You could just try to experiment and do something. But a lot of our inspiration definitely comes from being in India. We don't have such a vibrant scene for techno. So a lot of inspiration, to be honest, comes from looking at what people in Europe are doing. So that's a huge inspiration for us as well. Yeah.
So you talk about video games, but do you have also a non-musical influence that are inspiring you?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, like art inspires us a lot.
Yes.
Sometimes even geometry in architecture. There's so many beautiful things apart from music that inspires us. Yes.
Since last year you start your live show, what does it allow you to express that a DJ set doesn't?
Right. So the whole thing about our live set was to keep it very improvisational. So that kind of creates a sense of excitement and tension, like maybe something could go wrong, maybe something could, not work. So we really like the spontaneity of a live set, because with a DJ set, you still are playing other people's music, which is also very interesting, no doubt about that. I really love it. But the fact about the live set to keep it improvisational for us is absolutely the core.
So you talk about improvisation. Do you prepare your set or you do your DJ set when it's not live? You check the vibe and...
Right. So for the DJ sets, yes, we do not prepare so much. We obviously have our music categorized and organized in a way. But also sometimes for specific gigs, I think it's important to have an idea. But sometimes, having a plan might not always work. You always have to be ready to move around. So yes, for the DJ sets, we don't really prepare, but we have our music organized very well. So we can figure out what works and what doesn't. Yes.
What are the good and the bad side of performing as a duo and working with your brother?
I think the best thing about performing as a duo is to have another pair of ears that you can trust. And that also can be the bad thing, because sometimes there's a conflict of ideas in a healthy way. Of course, maybe this works, this doesn't work. And also the fact that it's my brother. So, that's family. So that obviously makes it beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 2019, you launched your label, Observance. How do you choose the artists that you sign on it?
So one of the ideas when we started Observant was to push some of the techno artists in India. So that was one of the main motives. But when we're choosing artists, we're generally looking for someone that fits the sound of the label. So the sound of the label also has evolved in the recent years. But also now I would like to see the label grow in a direction where it supports the kind of music that we play. I want to sign music that we are able to play in our sets often. So that is one of the most important criteria. And also to showcase some artists who are new and, who are probably not so well known in the scene, along with people who are also well known. So that way we can get to push the best of both.
Okay. You also created Afterworks, a format that's been running for over 10 years. What did you want to create with it?
So the idea with Afterworks when we started was to create a nightlife agency to bring artists down. So we started doing a lot of hypnotic techno tours in around 2016, 2017. We brought some of the first wave of hypnotic techno artists to India to introduce the sound. But right now I've put Afterworks on a little bit of a pause because I would like, there's so much on the plate already to do with the label, with the DJ sets and everything. But the whole idea with Afterworks was to introduce some of the music that we love from here and bring it over here, and also probably do the same with some of the music that we have from India to take it out of the country.
And before I let you go beyond the decks, how would you describe the techno scene in India?
So the techno scene in India is very small. I would say it's small, but it's also got a lot of talent. It's got a lot of talent. There are a lot of cool producers. There are also a lot of Indian people who are living in Europe right now and making a nice scene. But in India, it's still a growing scene because there is a lot of overlap of audience. Like in Europe, you have people who are very specific to certain sound. Like, okay, if they like electro, they like a certain specific style of electro, a specific style of techno. So in India, there's a little bit of overlap of audience. But when it comes to producers and DJs, I think we have some really cool talent.
Okay, like, do you have some recommendation for us?
Yeah, of course. I would definitely recommend this artist Vedic, Tanvi, then there is Shreyas. There's a whole bunch of people, who are doing some really cool stuff.
So you have to check this out.
Yeah.
So thank you. You can start your set.
Super. I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you.